What happens when the UFC's greatest fighter of all time refuses to fight the most dangerous heavyweight on the planet? Well, we're about to find out, because Jon Jones has been ducking Tom Aspinall for over 18 months now. And the excuses he's making, they will absolutely blow your mind. This is a story about politics, pride, and what might be the biggest duck job in UFC history.
I think Tom can beat Jon Jones because how fast and athletic he is.
Yeah.
Because with Aspinall, he could potentially get knocked out. Like legitimately knocked out and put on his back and out cold.
I think I'm a bad matchup for him, to be honest. And I think he knows it.
Before we get into the drama, let me paint you a picture of exactly who Tom Aspinall is. Tom Aspinall holds the record for the lowest average fight time in UFC heavyweight history. In a division where guys go the distance, this man finishes elite contenders faster than anyone who's ever stepped in that octagon. We're talking about a 6'5" British destroyer who moves like a middleweight but hits like a freight train. First round finishes over Markin Tybura, Alexander Volkov, and Sergey Pavlovich. All top 10 heavyweights. But here's what makes Aspinall truly terrifying. He's not just a knockout artist. Legitimate jiu-jitsu, Olympic-level wrestling, and cardio that doesn't quit. He's everything you don't want to face as an aging heavyweight champion.
Tom Aspinall, the guy who just won the interim title. He's phenomenal. Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding.
November 11th, 2023, the date that started it all. Jon Jones was scheduled to defend his heavyweight title against Stipe Miocic at UFC 295. But Jones suffered a torn pectoral muscle and was forced to pull out.
Very sad situation, very upset. But I've been through a lot of things in life, and injuries is a part of being an athlete.
Instead of waiting for Jones to heal, the UFC created an interim heavyweight title between Tom Aspinall and Sergey Pavlovich. Here's how interim titles work. They're placeholder belts created when the champion can't defend. The interim champion eventually fights the real champion to unify the belts and determine the undisputed champion. Remember that. It becomes crucial later. UFC 295 arrives. Sergey Pavlovich came in with 6 straight first-round knockouts. This was supposed to be a war between two dangerous finishers. Instead, Aspinall made it look easy. 1 minute and 9 seconds. That's all it took for Aspinall to drop Pavlovich and finish him with ground and pound.
Those leg kicks will pay dividends.
Tom Aspinall was now the interim heavyweight champion. This should have set up the obvious next fight. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall to unify the titles.
Told you guys already, we'll get Aspinall versus Jones done.
But that's not what happened. Instead of booking the unification fight every MMA fan wanted, the UFC rebooked Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Let me put this in perspective. When this was rebooked, Stipe hadn't won a fight since 2020. His last appearance, a devastating knockout loss to Francis Ngannou, where he lost his title. MMA fans were confused and angry. Why prioritize a fight with a 41-year-old former champion who hadn't won in years over the young interim champion finishing everyone? The answer became clear when Jon Jones started talking to media. This is where it gets juicy. Jon Jones started making excuse for why he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. First, he called Aspinall an asshole and said he didn't want to do business with him.
I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so
Then he
annoying.
started floating other opponents. Alex Pereira, who had never fought at heavyweight. Derek Lewis, who wasn't even top 10. Fast forward to November 2024. Jon Jones finally fought Stipe and won by third-round TKO. After the fight, Dana White said the obvious, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall to unify the belts. That's the fight to make. That was 7 months ago. We're still waiting. Tom Aspinall has been forced to defend his interim title just to stay active, which defeats the purpose of being interim champion. He beat Curtis Blades in another first-round finish, proving once again he's levels above everyone else. So here we are, the most obvious fight in heavyweight history, still not booked. And Jon Jones continuing to find reasons not to face the most dangerous challenger he's ever encountered. Is this the biggest duck job in UFC history? Is Jon Jones scared of Tom Aspinall's youth and finishing ability? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall? Subscribe for more UFC breakdowns, and because this story is far from over.